Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight for our year-end live stream event for Coastal Water Tea Time with Coastal Water Protectors. My name is Angel Fisher, and I'm the Director of Coastal Conservation with BC Métis Federation. And before we get started with tonight's event, I'm going to pass it off to our team member Jocelyn for a land acknowledgement.
Good evening. Just wanted to honor the land we're on. The BC Métis Federation office is on the unceded traditional territory of Squamish Nation, Musqueam Nation, and Tsleil-Waututh Nation.
Thank you, Jocelyn.
Thank you.
Thank you. So before we get started with tonight's event, I just want to acknowledge that we have several different team members here tonight. It probably looks a little bit different than the past events that we've done. So before we get started with some questions that we received, we're going to go around the room and just do a little bit of an introduction and what the favorite part of the year was for each person. So for me, my name is Angel. I'm the director here with BC Métis Federation for Coastal Conservation. And my favorite part of the year was the aquatic youth retreat that we actually just got back from last night. And we're definitely going to be covering more of that next. I'm going to pass it off to Tanner.
Hi everybody. My name is Tanner from Fort Nelson, and I really enjoyed the aquatic retreat as well. Sorry, I'm so nervous right now from live TV. Sorry. Hello though. My name's Tanner.
Hi, my name is Claire Desjardins, and I'm from North Vancouver. I am a BCMF member as well as a coastal water protector. And my favorite part of this year was our youth retreat that we just had over the past weekend, like Angel was saying. We just got back last night, and it was a great time.
So my name is Jordan. I am the youth rep for BCMF, and I'm from Terrace, BC.
I'm Tracy. I live in North Vancouver as well. I'm a BCMF member, and I think I'm one of the OG coastal water protectors.
Yeah.
I enjoyed many things that we did this year. There was such a diversity of activities, from school days to World River Day to Drizzly beach cleanups. My very favorite, I think, was actually World River Day, and that's due to another activist that I met that day in Burnaby.
Awesome. It was nice to see Tracy. I'm Jocelyn McIntosh and Angel come to one of the schools where I work at and do talk with some of the students. That wasn't my favorite activity though. There's so many great activities that we did this year, but my favorite was having my son, who's now 19, come out on one of the beach cleanups and support kind of the work we do in coastal conservation and just the community. It's been so great to spend time with getting to know people through these initiatives. So, yeah.
Cool. So I'm Brad Drew up from Nanaimo, BC, Vancouver Island. I'm the industry coordinator for the BC Métis Federation, as well as a proud member of the Coastal Water Protectors Group. Kind of like what Tracy said, we had so many events, so many different initiatives throughout the year. Besides the beach cleanups, we got public involved as well. They were just walking by, seeing our little tent and whatnot, and say, "What are you guys doing?" I would have to say that the coastal conference was really absorbing and whatnot to see how many people out there besides us really care about the water and looking after things for the future generations. So
Perfect. Thank you. So a few of us had mentioned the aquatic youth retreat, and a few of us here, we just got back from that last night. We spent 4 days and 3 nights out in Tofino, BC. And the whole purpose of that retreat was really to give an experience to youth in BC who may not otherwise have had an experience like that, and to do some new adventurous activities that, a lot of us, in our areas in day-to-day life might not have a chance or opportunity to do. And some of those things, which a few of us will probably go into more detail about, We did a helicopter tour, which was really cool for most of us. That was our first time being in a helicopter. And yeah,
Loved that.
Loved it. It
helicopter
was-
ride. It was incredible.
yeah. We got to see a bird's eye view, really, of one of the most beautiful places I think is in British Columbia. We got to do a float plane tour as well, which was similar but a different experience than the helicopter tour. And we got to go out on a 3-hour whale and wilderness tour, which was probably one of like my highlights personally because it was my first time being able to see a whale kind of up close
Mhm.
and a bit more personal. We got to see some orcas and we also got to see a gray whale as well, which was really, it was amazing. It was probably my favorite part of the year for sure. And there was other activities that we did as well at this retreat. We really wanted to create a environment that allowed youth to connect and meet other youth in the province and come together and build friendships, build community, and share about ourselves and also learn more about ourselves. Like I feel like probably one of the things that everyone will probably mention tonight is that not only did they learn about other youth that they met, but they also learned more about themselves. We spent our evenings, making dinner together.
Yeah.
We played games. We had really great, deeper conversations that I really think built really great connections and friendships out of it.
Yeah.
So we have a few youth here tonight actually that participated in that event. So we're going to quickly ask them what their favorite part of the youth retreat was. Start with Tanner.
Helicopter ride for sure. We saw incredible things on that ride, and I just wish I could just be on it again.
Again, yeah.
It was so much fun.
Yeah,
right?
it was crazy.
I loved it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
So Claire,
Yeah. I definitely agree. The helicopter was so fun. Because I got to sit in like the front seat, which was really cool. Because you can see like so much more than if you're in the back. They have like the headphones so you can like hear what the
Yeah.
pilot's saying and everything.
The
It
ground
was-
was exposed.
Yeah,
You could see out through
you
the
could just see
bottom.
it.
Yeah.
You could see like the bottom, like where your feet
Yeah.
are. It was crazy. That was definitely, I don't know, I have so many favorite things, but
Yeah,
definitely
same.
that. It was really cool to see the whales though as well. I've never seen a killer whale like up close, I don't think.
Yeah.
So that was just like amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. So my favorite part of the youth retreat would have to be going on that boat cruise and just seeing all those sea otters,
oh
Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
the bald eagles and the orcas and the gray whales. I just really enjoyed myself being out there. It was so beautiful,
Yeah.
honestly. So,
Yeah.
That's great.
And speaking of otters, one of the things that we learned, which I didn't even know, was that they travel together in really big groups. I don't know if anyone remembers the name of it.
I
Oh.
think it was like a rat.
A raft.
Oh.
Yeah, when they're traveling together
Holding
and
hands
they
too.
hold hands. Yeah, which was another
They
really
float on their
cute
back.
facts. Yeah, they
Very
hold hands
sweet.
when they're asleep so they don't drift apart from one another. We also got to see tons of sea lions.
Yep.
That too. Yeah.
Lots of
California sea lions.
Yeah, there was probably at one particular dog, probably over 100.
Like a
Yeah.
500.
No.
No.
Maybe not 500, but
Okay.
you'll see
1,000.
definitely more than 50, I would say.
Yeah.
And that was really quite cool. So
Were they loud, Angel?
they were loud.
Yes.
They could keep me
yeah.
awake at night?
They were-
Yes, maybe I had a nightmare about them. Yeah.
Sounds like dogs almost, like just.
Yeah.
Oh, they do sound like dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was really quite cool because I think in the past I've only ever maybe seen like a couple of them, but never one area that was really just a whole space filled with them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was really quite cool. So now I'm gonna ask the youth that attended that event if they can sum up in 3 words what that type of experience was for them.
Educational for sure. And then I would also say adventurous.
Adventurous, yeah.
And friendships as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Made
We
a
made
lot of friends.
lots of
which is
friends.
very cool.
Yeah.
I really like that part about it.
Yeah, that was a good part. I think my 3 words are informative because we got to learn a lot about like the sea animals, and we went to the Wildlife Aquatic Center. We also visited the recovery center where we were able to get up close and personal to a bear, which was really cool.
Yes.
There's like tons of birds, like eagles and owls. It was crazy.
Snow owls.
Yeah.
Was that Elsa?
Elsa.
Elsa,
Yes.
yeah. It was the
Awesome.
first time for a lot of us to see probably species that we haven't encountered ourselves in our
Yeah.
day-to-day, especially coming from the city. Animals that we wouldn't really see otherwise.
Yeah.
Incredible experience.
Entertaining as well because our days were packed with like tons of activities and always just like on the go. We went to see some like beautiful beaches and trails and got our steps in.
Yeah.
Too many.
Yeah.
Too many steps.
And my last word would be community because we built connections and learned a lot about each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Nice, Claire. My first word would be stunning. You know, I got to see some amazing views on the Wild Pacific Trail, and when we got on, when we got on a boat to see orcas and gray whales, like I just again with the marine wildlife,
Yeah.
just was so amazing, right? And the weather was like really good at that time. So,
Yeah, right.
and my second word would have to be remarkable. We went to a recovery center and seen lots of animals and learned a lot of information about them. And my third word would be memorable. What I found really memorable was having everyone in one room where we all played games
Mhm.
and got to learn more about each other. And especially the time we all went to a beach and wrote our names in the sand.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of all of these great things, we had a videographer and a photographer with us for this experience to kind of capture and record all of our events so that we're able to share it with you. So hopefully in a couple weeks we'll be able to, get that out on our social media, get that out on our distribution list, so everybody can kind of see what we were able to experience, what we were able to see. I know we've been looking at some photos already from I miss it.
Incredible photos.
Really, yeah. I'm missing it already.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think we definitely
We
got
should go
back.
back, yeah.
We should go back this weekend.
This weekend again.
Speaking of that, if you'd like to donate to the Coastal Water Protectors, we also have that feature available as well. We have a lot of great initiatives like this aquatic youth retreat that we just did. And if you're wondering on some ways that you can get involved and maybe you have a busy schedule and you're not able to get out to an event, there's still an opportunity and a way for people to get involved. You can donate to the Coastal Water Protectors and help to fund these initiatives that we're talking about tonight, like this great retreat. Because for me personally, for most people that went there, it was their first time being in that part of BC. And if you've not been there before, it's really hard to visualize kind of why it's so special. It's a very different environment, even if you're used to coastal scenes. That particular part of the island and what you're able to experience is still so much different than other coastal areas, especially for us here from the Lower Mainland. The beaches here are not like the beaches out there.
No.
Like
It
what
feels like you're in like a different part of the world.
Yeah.
Yes.
really
Yeah.
you don't really feel like you're in BC.
Mhm.
So I don't know if anyone else has anything they want to cover about the retreat before we move on.
I just want to make a
Yeah.
comment, when we visited that aquarium.
Yeah.
They had the Coastal Water Protector postcards in there,
Yes,
remember?
yeah.
That was really nice to see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so what Jordan is referring to is the Ucluelet Aquarium, which is one of my favorite aquariums. It's a really cute, smaller sized aquarium out in Ucluelet. And they support a lot of local initiatives that are going on there. And we have some of our Coastal Water Protectors postcards that you can buy from there if you visit it. As well as, I don't know if any of you were able to see our cedar plaque out front. That's a,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Incredible.
That was really
you can
cool.
make a donation. I think they're still running it through the aquarium there, where you can donate $200 or more and you're able to get your name put on a cedar plaque out front. You don't have to be a business or an organization. You can just be like a family name. even. So we as a team made a donation to them on behalf of BC Métis Federation and Coastal Water Protectors. Really support what they do there. They do like they catch the marine animals and then they release them at the end of the season, and they involve the community with that, and it's a really great little spot. If you've never been out there, it's definitely a place I would recommend checking out. As well, you'll also see some sea lions there as well, out on the dock.
1,000 of them.
Around 1,000.
Around
Yeah.
1,000 on the dock.
That's technically in Eucula, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there on the wall. It's a cute spot. And very friendly staff.
Oh, yeah.
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 And they have like some touch, what do you call those little?
Sea
like,
cucumbers?
touch.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
you can
so
touch your
it's-
starfish,
It
and
was so cool to
Yeah.
catch one too.
even if you're not a kid, it's definitely a neat experience for adults as well.
Yeah, it's really fun.
So now we're going to move on to one of our other initiatives that we've had this year, which is the First Responder Initiative. And that particular initiative, if you've not already heard of it, BC Métis Federation and the Coastal Water Protectors distributed 70 spill kits this year to BCMF members as well as some general public. We have a team member here today who spearheaded that, and that's Brad Giroux from Nanaimo. So I'm going to pass it off to Brad just to cover a little bit about why he felt this was an important initiative to get out to our members this year.
Okay, spill kits, you might think about, you have a spill at home, you grab a paper towel and get most of it, and that's the first initial response. So when I think of spill kits, I was involved in a fuel spill up Narrows Inlet on the Sunshine Coast, where a guy was filling a fuel tank and then just walked away, and then of course it overflowed into the inlet, whatnot. But what I experienced is the people that reacted, the booms that went out, the absorbent pads that went in, knowing that we probably couldn't get it all because it wasn't a big enough spill that had to be reported. But I saw any little difference that you can do to help save or help protect marine life, eelgrass and whatnot, depending where you are along the coast, or for that matter around the lake, protecting cottontails and other grasses. So because of that, and seeing how people, well, maybe they'll go fill their outboard or inboard motor, mainly outboards, I guess, and some fuel goes into the water and go but it'd be amazed, a quarter cup of diesel fuel spilled in the water will just spread like crazy, and it'll look really massive, and that's left on you. That's what you did. So through some research and phoning around, we found a spill kit supplier and whatnot, and like Angel said, we've given away more than 70 to boaters, and not just along our ocean shores, but some inland as well. It's yet another layer where at least we can do as Coastal promoting clean ocean and inland waters. I felt it was an important initiative for the Coastal Water Protectors Group to take the lead on this, with an ultimate goal is that anybody that operates a motorized pleasure boat and whatnot should have one of these kits on board, like they do other things that are mandatory, such as the bailers, oars, noise maker, your small boat operator's certificate and whatnot. So yeah, I think it's been really good, and it's helped me get out there and be involved more too, being on Vancouver Island. And I look forward to keeping that initiative going.
Perfect. Thank you, Brad. Yeah, speaking of the spill kits, I want to also acknowledge another team member that we have who's kind of behind the scenes tonight, and that's our coastal manager, Zia Yazdani. So Zia, Brad, and another team member, Kimberly from Nanoose Bay, we kind of all were like the core team that kind of got this project on the go. And like Brad said, it's something we definitely want to continue into our next fiscal year. And again, I just want to reiterate that, making donations to organizations like ours really helps get those initiatives out to the public, out to our members, out to our coastal water protectors. And I want to quickly touch base on an incident that happened just a few months ago. And if you follow the news in your local, you might have already heard about it. There was a mystery spill in False Creek a few months ago, and we got a notification that came in from one of our members that they had experienced. They witnessed this spill, but they didn't know where it was coming from, and they had contacted the Canadian Coast Guard, and they'd also contacted the City of Vancouver Environmental Unit. And of course, as we know, things don't happen instantly. So once they're notified, there is a time lapse between when they're able to get a crew out to investigate this spill. He contacted the Coastal Water Protectors because he seen we had these kits on hand and wanted to at least try his best to contain what he could of that spill. So our manager Zia and I, we quickly, I think it was like less than 2 hours, were able to gather up some kits that we had at the office and in our cars, and we drove down to meet him at the Spyglass dock in Vancouver. And he went out on his little boat and he set up kind of like a makeshift boom and deployed some absorbent socks, and he was able to collect some, and I think small things like that, people might not think make a really big impact, but little small things like that, they do, because as Brad mentioned, even just a little bit, once it starts to disperse, it can start to affect more of the water and the shoreline as well, which is what was happening with that particular incident. And speaking of spill kits, we do some work here with the Coastal Water Protectors with the Canadian Coast Guard. And I know Zia and Brad, who's here tonight, we went to Campbell River right before Christmas, I think, right?
Yeah, maybe around Christmas.
Around Christmas
Yeah.
time, yeah, we got to participate in a tabletop exercise out there with the Canadian Coast Guard and local First Nations from the community out there. And I just wanted to ask you, Brad, what did you think of that experience? Was it your first time doing a tabletop exercise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, but it's good to see that that everybody cares about the water and about the shoreline. It's not just maybe people live in the area, but response from any group or faction when something like that happens is everybody's business. So what I got from that is to see, oh, so you're involved in that, you might get the call, or you might get the call, or you might get the call. So it was really good to see that collaboration, especially for those who live on ocean shores or whatnot. So yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, it was an interesting day for sure. I don't know if anyone else here has anything they want to share about our first responder initiative, or think any positive stories you have about, if you've seen. I know at our conference that we had in January, Brad was there, and you got rid of almost, I think, 10 kits that day.
Yeah, and at
There's
least
quite a
10 kits,
few,
and
yeah.
pretty good
Well,
one-on-one with our little setup, our little booth, and people to ask questions, and that awareness was really important.
Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah, we did. Speaking of the conference, we had 2 conferences this year. One in October of 2023, and our second one for this fiscal was January just of this year. And we had a few spill kits that were left, and we thought it was a great opportunity to bring them out there and get them into some more folks' hands. And we did. I don't know if you guys remember that exercise that we did there, where we kind of went through a simulated. Actually, we got the idea from the tabletop exercise with the Canadian Coast Guard, where we had a simulated incident at our conference where each table were kind of working together on how they would manage this particular incident if they found themselves. And it was a really generic incident. They were out on the water. They decided to rent a boat for a day, and we wanted to kind of get some information from our attendees on what their knowledge was regarding these incidents, and hopefully learn from other people at the table. I don't know if anyone here has any thing they remember about that they want to share?
Yeah, share something. So it was a real honor and pleasure to MC at both conferences. And at the second conference in North Vancouver, Jocelyn was alongside, so we were Team Jocelyn. Which was a lot of fun. She's great. Too bad she can't be with us, but she's probably back up north.
Yeah.
So hi, Jocelyn, if you're watching. Anyways, it was quite a different format we did for the second conference, but what I think we wanted to do is have that community and have those discussions and meet. So the first one we kind of had a lot of presentations and a lot of information, which was fabulous. Like I learned so much that day. And there was so much I took away with like small things that I could do to make a difference. And then the second conference we had, the interactive discussions, and you could see people talking and we were guiding them through, and it was just so nice to be up there and see smiling faces and people enjoying themselves and learning and hopefully taking some of those things or becoming more involved with the initiatives.
Yeah, it was a great time. Now I actually have a question for Tracy, who's here tonight. When you think of this past year and community engagement, what are some of the highlights you can think of?
Well, I enjoyed being part of the team that did a few education and outreach programs. 3 were in my own home community near Deep Cove. There were a couple of markets where the Coastal Water Protectors rolled out their gorgeous new media display and played games with the local kids, and educational questionnaires were, I guess, not distributed, but there was a fishing game with prizes.
Oh yeah.
Lots of great prizes.
Yeah.
Everybody loves the Coastal Waters Protectors booth.
Yeah, it was quite popular that day. We were flooded with people.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're giving away prizes and gift cards and
Bag.
yeah.
Yeah. So those were lots of fun because it was my real neighborhood and we are a seaside community.
Yeah.
And we also did a great beach cleanup there. It was one of the first ones of the season.
Yeah.
And we involved the Lonsdale Sea Cadets, which my family's part of. And it was a really miserable, drizzly day, but
It was.
Very West
Angel
Coast.
always shows up with the great snacks. And I don't know what you know about Deep Cove, but Honey's Donuts is there.
Shout out.
So donut doesn't make for a great umbrella, but it was a treat. Another thing that we did in North Vancouver this year was that the second conference, and it was quite a wonderful experience. We had some of the people from the first conference in October.
Yeah.
And I think we've made a great collaboration with the Oceanwise group. A lot of really enthusiastic, mostly youth that we have met
amazing.
through that.
Yeah.
Yeah, really,
Enthusiastic,
yeah,
passionate.
yeah, for sure. So
Smart too.
Yeah.
Very smart.
Yeah. And friendly.
Yes.
Yeah.
and that on top of that, we had a couple of days in a couple of different schools. One day Angel called me to help out with was it a science fair?
Oh, it was just a school district.
In the Vancouver
Yeah.
School District,
About reducing waste.
yeah, it was a day of youth being actually quite interested in what we had to say, and we played games with them, handed out prizes,
Yeah.
did educational games, and that was quite a lot of fun. The snacks were provided by Ernest Ice Cream that day, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that was ice cream.
Good local foodies.
Very
And then Jocelyn works in the SD?
The SD42 Lake Ridge Meadow School District. So yeah, that was wonderful too. We had a little conference. I can't remember if it was grade 6 or 7s, and we invited you guys to come down and present to them. It's very educational and also just that awareness. And then we are gathering, those are all across the school district. So again, meeting in community. So it shows how important those initiatives are.
Yeah.
Like awareness, community, gathering, and then food.
And of course, yeah. Does anyone else have anything they want to share about when they think of community engagement, kind of you know, what the Coastal Water Protectors and BC Métis Federation got up to this past year? Well, one of the things that come to mind for me is we had 2 new initiatives that we launched. It was new age groups. So previously it was kind of more, we called them ambassadors with the Coastal Water Protectors, and it was more adult based. And we really thought it was important to get more children and youth involved. So we created 2 groups. One of them is called Coastal Pups, and that's for ages 5 to 11. And the second one is Coastal Seawolves, and that's for ages 12 to 18. And what we did this year was we tried to focus a lot in 2023 on getting children and youth out to events and making these events more tailored towards those specific age groups. Which, you know, I don't know if you've ever taken a group of 5 to 11-year-olds out to like an aquarium on a busy Saturday, but it's chaos. So we definitely had a lot of team members out to help with that. But it was overall really great to see children excited about seeing these animals up close. I don't know if you've ever had a chance to feed at the Vancouver Aquarium, but they have a great selection of marine mammals and species there that I think when you introduce something like that to really young people, it really fosters a sense of enthusiasm and passion and love for what they're seeing. And I think that really helps with when we get youth involved and children involved and you instill that passion, they'll grow up to be adults that want to protect the environment and protect these animals and these species, which are really at like, you know, they're helpless when it comes to pollution, and whether it's marine pollution or air pollution. I think it really lies with us as adults with protecting and preserving and advocating for that. So I think when you get really young people involved, you know, they're going to grow up to be adults that are passionate and caring about that. And speaking of the aquarium trip, I know Claire and I are going to be at the Vancouver Aquarium this March, and we're going to be sending out some email blasts this week. So if you have any children aged 5 to 11 in the Lower Mainland area that didn't get a chance to participate in the first few events that we had, we're going to be doing a year-end event. We're going to have 2 sessions, a morning one and an afternoon one. So stay tuned for that. We're going to be taking out a crew of children, and we're going to have our other team member, Mercedes, there as well to help out with us. I don't know if anyone here has anything they want to say about the Coastal Pups or the Coastal Seawolves, or why they think it's important to them to get children and youth involved.
I think that you protect what you love,
Yeah,
and so you're fostering their love for the environment,
yeah.
the waters.
Yeah, it's good for them at a young age to get educated on it, as
Yeah.
early as possible.
And in a fun and engaging and interactive way. We always try to make sure that our events are really hands-on and more of an experience-based versus, you know, something. I think when you gather and you are just kind of standing up and talking in front of a room, it's really hard to capture the attention, especially for younger minds to want to sit there and listen about that. Like I know even just about our retreat this weekend,
Hands-on.
you
was
don't
so
even
much better.
you don't even realize the things that you're learning because you're so busy having fun, and those are the things that like stick with you and you
Yeah.
remember
Yeah,
them
for sure.
a lot easier versus reading about something. But when you get out and you do something, I think it really helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, building those connections and friendships even with smaller kids. I know there's a lot of them that are repeats at our events. We just had a paint workshop not too long ago. I think it was just in January, or maybe it was February.
It might have been February,
Yeah,
quite
I
recent.
think it was pretty recent. And, you know, we have a lot of, you know, repeat members that come out and participate in these things. And I know a lot of us have come to these events that we have as strangers and they've left as friends. I know, like, I can say that personally because I've met probably more friends in the past couple of years with Coastal Water Protectors than I have really in my whole life.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I think when you get people together that are passionate about something, they already have something in common.
Yeah.
And I think when you have something in common, you already have an automatic connection almost to one
Yeah.
another, and I think it helps. I know I met pretty much everybody here through something that BC Métis Federation or the Coastal Water Protectors have done. And I consider everyone here a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does anyone else have any highlights they want to share when it comes to community engagement?
I think it was a great year overall. We did a lot and we
Lots.
engaged the community and just not just our BC Métis Federation community, but other community people. And even on social media, there's quite a presence with the Coastal Water Protectors, and you can see all the different followers and different people post different things. So I've started to follow different organizations and get more involved in like other conferences because I'm aware of teacher conferences, but I'm not necessarily aware of like other initiatives and things. So
Yeah.
building those connections.
Yeah. I think that's really like a really good word to sum up everything we've done this year is connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Connection with one another, connection with other affiliates and organizations, and it was really a great year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you've really harnessed the use of technology and the internet, including events like this one. Our coastal manager Zia has
Yeah, let's
created
have a
some
round of
excellent-
applause.
and that kind of thing really helps for people to understand and engage with the work that we do, because we can't all be on the helicopter, but we can show you the picture of the gray whale,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that's a really good point. I'm glad Tracy mentioned that. In 2023, we really had a shift in how we were able to deliver a lot of our information, and that really is mostly due to Zia, because I know I'm not really that much of a technology. As you can see, I'm not or grammar regarding technology. So he really did a lot with that and how you're able to see the information that we have. We have a really great online presence with our Instagram page at Coastal Water Protectors, and we post a lot of, it's all original content. So it's all stuff that our team members have taken. There's some really good footage, not only from on ground, but also aerial shots that we've done with like the drone that we have that Zia operates, and what else? We're on YouTube now, yeah.
One of the pictures that Zia took, we were given that at the conference, and I actually
Beautiful photo.
Yeah. I went into a classroom where I was giving a presentation on Métis sashes and just Métis culture, and I actually really liked the decor and style of her room, and I thought that photo would look beautiful and it would be something I could leave behind
Yeah.
so she could put up. So I actually gave your photo away,
Oh,
and it's now in a classroom in May Portage. So
Wow.
and the teacher was like, even the students, because it's a bird's eye view,
Yeah.
and there's so much teaching in that picture, and like who took the picture and the purpose and the beauty
yeah.
and which way was like it was just
Yeah.
it was such rich discussion, and it also like the teacher was just like, oh, thank you, like wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's nice.
but I'll have to get another one.
Yeah. Have to replace Jocelyn's photo.
Beautiful way to get the word out.
Yeah, through something visual. Yeah, I think visually, we can all connect with something visually like differently. Like, I don't know if you've ever been to like an art gallery, but when you look at something, probably all of us would look at that and interpret it a little bit differently.
I think.
And they're all right interpretations.
Yeah.
That's what I love about art, and photography is part of that, and how we get that out. And speaking of that, some things that we're going to be doing in our next fiscal year is we're going to be doing a little bit of a shift and taking more of like a virtual route, so we're able to reach more of our members and our coastal water protectors that are maybe in more remote locations, you know, that we're just not able to get out to and have one-on-one conversations or events with. So some ways and things to look forward to next year would be we're going to be doing bi-weekly podcasts, and you'll be seeing and hearing more from us then. We're going to have team members on as guest speakers, also different organizations and companies come out to share and talk, and hopefully get some like marine biologists out and share some information on that. We're also going to be developing monthly newsletters. It's something we used to do in the past, and it's something that I think a lot of people have kind of missed. So that's going to be a focus for us next year, and getting that back out and being able to share all of these great images from these events that we've been to, so we can showcase that to you. And that's about it for the questions that we've had. And I just want to thank everybody in the room here for being a part of BC Métis Federation, being a part of the Coastal Water Protectors, being a part of this community, being great friends. And I want to thank everybody that's watching us, whether it's live right now or whether you're watching this at a later time on our recording. I just want to thank you all for staying tuned, for participating, whether it was small or big. I just want to thank everybody for caring about the environment, caring about conservation, and I think just caring makes an impact. So
Yeah,
thank
for
you,
sure.
everyone. Night. Bye.
Bye.